the dreamer of machines. Prologue, he who dreams. Rex Tracer lived alone in a house that hummed with machines, an entire world of metal, light, and quiet genius suspended in perpetual motion. The structure itself sat on the edge of the western ridge, overlooking the silver-blue sprawl of the Pacific megacity. From the outside, it looked like a minimalist cube of glass and alloy. Inside, it was a cathedral of invention. The walls glowed with shifting schematics, projected by embedded hollow threads that pulsed like veins beneath the surface. Half-finished drones drifted lazily in magnetic suspension, rotating with the slow grace of deep-sea creatures. The air smelled faintly of clean stainless superalloy metals, warm circuitry, and the citrus mint air freshener Rex had programmed to release every 90 minutes. It was the only concession to comfort he allowed himself. He had everything a man could want. Comfort, brilliance, the respect of governments, the fear of enemies. But he lived as though none of it mattered. His eyes, dreamy and curious, wandered from one invention to the next, always searching for puzzles to solve. He moved through his home like a ghost drifting through a museum of his own mind. He sat at his workbench, eating a simple meal without ceremony. The fork in his hand tapped absently against the plate, a soft metallic rhythm that blended with the hum of the machines. His gaze drifted toward a half-assembled engine suspended in a cradle of blue light. It was a new design, something between a pulse drive and a quantum fold initiator, but he wasn't thinking about it consciously. His mind was elsewhere, lost in the hum of gears and the promise of what they might become. The holographic projector on the far wall flickered, a ripple of static cut through the room, and then the stern face of General Hardcase appeared, projected at life size. Hardcase's voice carried the weight of command, sharp, unwavering, and utterly humorless. "Tracer," Hardcase said, arms folded across his chest. "The world government is restless. The Yulix have demanded our finest engineer. They want you." Rex didn't look up immediately. He took another bite, chewed, swallowed, then finally lifted his eyes with the slow, dreamy detachment that infuriated military brass across the solar system. "They always want something," he murmured. "Machines don't ask for loyalty, General. They just work." Hardcase's jaw tightened. The man was built like a bunker, square shoulders, square jaw, square temper. This isn't about loyalty. It's about survival. Their armor is sacred to them, and you know mechanical systems better than anybody. Hell, you invented most of them. Earth needs this alliance to go over without a hitch. If it fails, it could fracture everything we've built. Rex leaned back in his chair, fork still in hand, eyes drifting toward a cluster of micro-drones assembling themselves in the corner. Armor, ships, engines, they're puzzles. Puzzles I solve. What they do with them is their burden, not mine. Hardcase studied him for a long moment. He had heard Rex say detached, vague things like that before. And every time, the next morning, whatever he had been asked to invent was sitting in the lab waiting for them with a note attached. Hardcase knew the pattern, but it didn't make dealing with Rex any easier. "You've never been one for politics," Hardcase said finally. "But remember, puzzles are meant to be solved. Not everything requires a solution." The transmission faded, leaving Rex alone again with the hum of his machines. He disagreed, but he made no indication to say so. A moment later, another projection shimmered into existence. Admiral Piker appeared, his expression cautious, calculating, as though every word had been weighed before spoken. Piker was the opposite of Hardcase, thin, sharp, almost serpentine in posture. His uniform was immaculate, his tone measured. "You've built the weapons that keep humanity alive, Rex," Piker said. "The Yulix are as nervous as we are. They've been attacked and ambushed half a dozen times in open space. Same as us. We need this alliance. If it collapses, they'll blame us. Then the brass will blame you." Rex shrugged, voice calm, almost indifferent. "I've given humanity centuries of life. I've given them ships that cross galaxies. If the Yulix want better armor, they should learn to build it themselves." Piker frowned. "You speak as though you're apart from all this. But you're not. You're the center of it. Without you, the machines stop working. The whole thing stops working." Rex's gaze drifted again, dreamy and distant. "Machines never stop. They work, even when we don't. I'll keep the Yulix in the sky. Just make sure our boys down there on the colonies have support." Piker hesitated. You've seen the reports, haven't you? Rex didn't answer. Piker continued anyway. Pirate activity on the frontier is escalating. Outlaws, raiders, splinter factions, someone supplying them with tech they shouldn't have. Good men are dying. Colonies are being hit harder every month. Rex's eyes flickered, just slightly. I'll look into it. The Admiral's image dissolved. Silence returned. Rex finished his meal, set the plate aside, and walked through his home. The machines hummed softly, their lights reflecting in his eyes. He paused before a suspended drone, sleek, obsidian black, with a tri-wing design and a crystalline core that pulsed like a heartbeat. He reached out, brushing his fingers across its surface. The drone responded with a soft chime, as though greeting him. He moved deeper into the house, past the living area, and into the central lab. Here, the machines grew stranger, more experimental, more alive. A serpentine mech coiled lazily in a containment field, its segmented body shifting with the fluidity of a living creature. A cluster of spherical devices hovered in a corner, rotating around each other in a slow gravitational dance. A massive engine core, 3 meters tall, floated in the center of the room, its internal components rearranging themselves in real time as Rex's algorithms tested new configurations. He approached a console and tapped it lightly. A news feed expanded across the wall, dozens of windows blooming like digital flowers. Frontier Outpost 9 attacked, casualties unknown. Pirate Lord Redshift sighted near the Helion Belt. Yulix convoy ambushed, diplomatic tensions rise. Colonial miners beg for reinforcements. Unidentified tech found in raider wreckage. Rex's expression didn't change, but his eyes sharpened. He zoomed in on one report. Footage from a colony world on the edge of the Orion Spur buildings burned. Civilians ran. A raider ship, sleek, angular, disturbingly advanced, hovered overhead, firing precision shots that cut through armored vehicles like paper. Rex leaned closer. The ship's engine signature was wrong. Too clean. Too efficient. Too familiar. He recognized the design. Not because he had built it, but because he had rejected it. Years ago, he had scrapped a prototype engine for being too unstable, too dangerous, too easily weaponized. He had erased the schematics, destroyed the prototypes, and moved on. Or so he thought. He closed the news feed with a flick of his fingers. The room dimmed again, leaving only the soft glow of machines. He walked to his bedroom, a simple space compared to the rest of the house. A bed, a small desk, a wall of shifting blueprints. He lay down, unbothered, the hum of invention surrounding him. But sleep brought no peace. The dream came as it always did. He saw her again, the young girl he had loved, her ship's controls failing, alarms screaming, the sound right there, and yet so far away. He remembered the helplessness as the core overloaded, the explosion tearing through metal and flame, her family lost in an instant. He reached out, but the dream ended the same way every time. Silence, wreckage, and the hollow ache of grief. The dream shifted. Machines swirled around him, endless gears and engines, puzzles without end. He floated among them, eyes wide with wonder, as though the machines themselves were alive, dreaming alongside him. His eyes, even in sleep, held that same curious quality, searching, yearning, but behind them lay sorrow. He woke in the dark, the hum of machines steady and unbroken. He sat up, staring into the shadows of his home. He had so much. Comfort, brilliance, respect, but he was alone. He didn't realize it, not fully. He told himself the puzzles were enough, that the machines filled the silence. But the dreams reminded him of what he had lost, of why he never let anyone close. The death of his first love had turned him into a recluse. The machines were his companions now, the puzzles his solace. He dreamed of them, built them, lived among them. And yet, in the quiet moments, when the hum faded and the lights dimmed, loneliness lingered like a shadow he refused to name. Outside, the world waited. The Earth-world government had summoned him. The Yulix demanded him. The frontier burned, and the galaxy whispered his name. But inside, Rex Tracer dreamed of machines. Chapter 1. The Engineer Princess. Rex Tracer had always believed machines were easier than people. Machines did not lie. They did not betray. They did not die screaming in a burning cockpit while he clawed helplessly at a sealed hatch. Machines were puzzles, beautiful, Intricate, endless puzzles, and puzzles never broke his heart. His home vessel, the Aurora Forge, drifted in orbit near the Yulix homeworld like a floating cathedral of invention. Inside, it was alive with motion. Drones glided silently through the air, their wings shimmering with refracted light. Engines hung in magnetic suspension, rotating slowly as if dreaming. Holographic schematics drifted across the walls like constellations, blueprints of ideas not yet born. Rex lived among puzzles, and puzzles were enough. Or so he told himself. The summons from the Earth world government had been clear. The Yulix demanded the best engineer in the galaxy. Their armor was sacred, their traditions ancient, and they would accept no one but Rex Tracer. He had resisted, of course. He always resisted. But General Hardcase's stern insistence and Admiral Piker's cautious warnings had worn him down. And so he found himself aboard the Yulix training ship Iron Fang, standing on a balcony overlooking a sparring chamber that smelled of sweat, metal, and the faint tang of ionized air. The Yulix were taller than humans, their golden skin gleaming under the lights, their emerald eyes sharp and unyielding. They moved with a grace that was both alien and regal, every strike a dance, every defense a ritual. Their armor was not merely protection, it was identity, lineage, soul. At the center of the chamber stood Crown Prince Vaylor, his presence commanding, his voice sharp as a blade. Facing him was Princess Kaelira, the thirdborn, her armor, the Solaris mantle, glittering with runes that pulsed like captured sunlight. Kaelira was fierce, inventive, passionate, and an outcast among her own kind. Vaylor lunged, his blade slicing through the air with lethal precision. Kaelira blocked, sparks flying as their weapons clashed. She moved with fire, fast, aggressive, unpredictable, but Vaylor was stronger, more disciplined, and far more experienced. "Is that all you have, sister?" Vaylor taunted, circling her like a predator. "You shame the mantle." Kaelira's jaw tightened. "You'll see what I have when you're on the ground." She struck, a sweeping arc of golden energy. Vaylor parried effortlessly, twisting her arm and sending her stumbling. She recovered quickly, but Rex could see the strain in her movements. The Solaris mantle was fighting her, its power surging unevenly, its plates shifting out of sync. Then it happened. The armor shuddered. A grinding sound echoed through the chamber. The plates along her torso locked, then tightened. Too far, too fast. Kaelira gasped, her emerald eyes widening in panic. No, not now. The mantle constricted, crushing inward. Rex moved before anyone else could react. His dreamy gaze sharpened into something precise, almost frightening. He vaulted over the railing, landing in the arena with a grace that belied his casual posture. Warriors stepped back instinctively, sensing something they could not name. "Hold still," Rex said, his voice calm but urgent. Kaelira dropped to one knee, choking. "I can't breathe." Rex's hands moved in a blur, faster than any human should move. His fingers danced across the seams of the armor, disengaging locks, rerouting power, overriding ancient Yulix systems he had only seen for the first time minutes ago. With a final twist, he removed the chest plate. The armor clattered to the floor, and Kaelira collapsed forward, gasping for air. Vaylor's face twisted with disgust. "You disgrace yourself, sister." To fail in front of him. Kaelira ignored him, her gaze locked onto Rex, shame, gratitude, and something else flickering in her eyes. "You saved me," she whispered. Rex nodded, expression unreadable. "It was the armor, not you." What Rex did not know, what no human had ever been told, was that in Yulix tradition, the removal of armor by another was no small act. Ancient law decreed that such an act bound the two as potential mates, a bond sacred and unbreakable. Kaelira felt the weight of that truth settle over her like a second skin. But she said nothing. Not yet. Later, aboard the Aurora Forge, Kaelira arrived with the damaged Solaris mantle cradled in her arms. Rex's lab was a marvel of human ingenuity. Holographic schematics floating like drifting nebulae, drones hovering silently, machines humming with quiet purpose. Rex examined the armor, his eyes dreamy yet focused. "These modifications," he murmured. "It's like someone tried to put a starship engine into a small vehicle. Not impossible, but without proper outlets for the power, you'll implode the system, Or yourself? Kaelira's cheeks flushed. I made them. Rex looked up, surprised. I'm the thirdborn, she said quietly. No royal armorer tends to me. I have to settle for the quartermaster's men. So I built what I could. Rex studied her, impressed despite himself. You're inventive. Reckless, but inventive. You were right to connect those nodes, but you don't have the right regulatory software. Like putting a rocket on a motorbike, reckless. Kaelira's lips curved into a faint smile. Better reckless than forgotten. Not if you're remembered for being reckless, he quipped, adjusting a holographic hub. She blinked, startled by the unexpected sharpness in his tone. Humans were supposed to be simple, predictable, intellectually inferior, at least according to Yulix doctrine. But this one was different. At one point, she brushed by Rex too quickly, realizing she left a datapad on a desk behind her. Accidentally, they brushed each other, but they pretended not to notice as they quietly settled into a hyper-aware silence. They spent hours together. Rex showed her the intricacies of his machines, how drones learned, how engines breathed, how power flowed like water through the veins of a ship. Kaelira marveled at the puzzles he solved with ease. He spoke of peace, of the satisfaction of building, of puzzles that never ended. She spoke of conquest, of the thrill of battle, of victories won with sweat and blood. You live without armor, she said one evening, watching him adjust a drone. How? Rex's eyes softened. I live with puzzles. They protect me better than armor ever could. Kaelira shook her head. You crave battle. I can see it in you. You just don't admit it. Determined to prove her point, Kaelira dragged Rex into the arena aboard the Iron Fawn. She handed him a weapon, sleek, elegant, humming with Yulix craftsmanship. Show me, she challenged. Show me what you can do. Rex hesitated, then raised the weapon. The moment the targets appeared, his body moved with supernatural speed. His aim was flawless, his reflexes sharp, his strikes precise. He hit every target, every shot calculated with uncanny probability. Kaelira stared, stunned. You're trained, polished, deadly. Rex lowered the weapon, expression calm. No, my mind operates at more than 1,000% capacity. With hypercompetence, shooting a few targets isn't difficult. She stepped closer, gaze piercing. Then how do you move like that? Rex said nothing. He would not reveal the truth, that his body and mind were laced with nanites, microscopic machines that enhanced him beyond human limits. Kaelira attacked him. A quick jab to the face, playful but firm. She expected him to dodge, or block, or at least flinch. He didn't. Her fist smacked cleanly into the side of his head. His cheek barely moved. She froze, then struck again, harder. This time she put her weight into it, her muscles coiling with warrior strength. Rex's head tilted a fraction of an inch. Her eyes widened. She spun, delivering a heel kick that would have shattered the skull of any Yulix warrior. The impact echoed through the arena, a thunderous crack. Rex didn't budge. Kaelira stumbled, nearly falling from the force of her own strike. She stepped back, staring at him like he was something she had never seen before and would never see again. What she had thought was a caged animal was, in truth, a god made flesh. This human was nothing like the others. Her astonishment melted into something else. Admiration, hunger, awe. Days turned into weeks. Kaelira visited often, drawn to Rex's warmth, his intellect, his untold raw strength. She trained in the courtyard of his lab, practicing without armor, her movements fluid and fierce. She wanted him to see her, not as a princess, not as an outcast, but as a warrior. Rex watched her sometimes, his dreamy eyes lingering longer than he realized. He taught her to use her natural gifts, to trust herself without the weight of armor. She listened, practiced, and grew stronger. Their bond deepened. She found in him a vibrancy she had never known, a warmth that filled the emptiness of her outcast life. He found in her a passion that stirred something long buried, a reminder of what it meant to connect. But Rex remained guarded, haunted by the past. He did not realize how lonely he was. Surrounded by machines, he had convinced himself he needed nothing more. Yet Kaelira's presence chipped away at that solitude, piece by piece. One evening, as the Solaris mantle gleamed under new light in the lab, Kaelira ran her fingers over its surface. "You've made it perfect," she said softly. Rex shook his head. "No, you made it perfect. I only helped you see how." Her emerald eyes met his dreamy gaze. For a moment, the world fell away. The machines, the battles, the traditions. There was only connection. She smiled, a smile filled with warmth and longing. "Then perhaps you'll help me see more." Rex said nothing, but his eyes held the answer. Chapter 2: Shadows and Singularity. Rex Tracer had never imagined himself leaving the quiet hum of his machines for the grandeur of alien courts. The Aurora Forge had been his sanctuary for years, its corridors filled with the soft whir of drones, the glow of holographic schematics, and the comforting presence of puzzles that never judged him, never demanded anything of him except brilliance. But when Princess Kaelira asked him to become her royal armorer, he agreed without hesitation. He didn't understand why at first. He only knew that the weeks spent in her company had stirred something long dormant in him. Connection, curiosity, even joy. The kind of joy he hadn't felt since before the accident, before the loss that had carved a hollow place inside him. So he automated his shop aboard the Aurora Forge, leaving behind a holographic intelligence in his likeness and a small army of apprentice droids to tend to the endless puzzles. The machines would continue to dream without him. For the first time in decades, Rex felt compelled to step beyond their shadows. General Hardcase was pleased. "You've been locked away too long, Tracer," he said, clapping Rex on the shoulder with a force that would have staggered a normal man. "It's good to see you out in the world again." Rex blinked slowly, dreamy as ever. "The world is loud." Hardcase snorted. "You'll survive." Admiral Piker was less certain. His cautious eyes narrowed as he studied Rex, as though trying to read the mind of a man who lived in equations. "You're walking into politics, not puzzles," Piker warned. Rex's gaze drifted to the holographic projection of Kaelira's armor. "I don't intend to fail." Piker sighed. "That's what worries me." The royal flagship Radiant Spear carried Rex to Yulix Prime. The ship was a marvel, sleek, angular, its hull shimmering with crystalline alloys that refracted starlight like a prism. Inside, the corridors gleamed with alien craftsmanship. Banners of conquest lined the walls, each depicting a victory from Yulix history. Rex found himself debating weapons with Crown Prince Vaylor and Captain Drenner in the war chamber. The room was circular, its walls covered in tactical holograms and ancient runes. "Explosives deliver concussive force," Vaylor argued, tapping a holographic model of a plasma grenade. "Lasers are precise, but they lack the devastation of a blast." "Precision wins wars," Rex countered, dreamy yet focused. "Explosives scatter energy. Lasers concentrate it. The question isn't which is stronger, it's which is smarter." Captain Drenner chuckled, leaning back with his arms crossed. "I never thought I'd see a human argue with a prince and live to tell it." "You've got courage, Tracer." Rex blinked. "I have equations." Vaylor's scowl softened. "Same thing." Kaelira entered the chamber then, her presence bright as a flare. "Are you three arguing about weapons again?" "Debating," Rex corrected. "Loudly," Drenner added. Kaelira smirked. "So arguing." Rex opened his mouth to protest, but Vaylor cut him off. "Don't bother. She's always right." Kaelira shot her brother a glare. "You only say that because I beat you in the arena last week. You cheated. You tripped. I was distracted." "By what?" Vaylor pointed at Rex. "By him." Rex blinked again. "I wasn't doing anything." "That's the problem," Vaylor muttered. Kaelira laughed, and Rex felt something warm stir in his chest. Their discussions were cut short when alarms blared through the ship. Red lights flashed. The deck trembled. Captain Drenner's voice boomed over the comms. "Enemy vessel approaching." "It's the Accord." The Accord, militant scientists who despised Rex's influence, believing his genius threatened their own power. Their star destroyer, the Black Horizon, loomed in orbit, its weapons primed to obliterate the Radiant Spear. Kaelira rushed to the command deck, her emerald eyes blazing. "They're targeting you," she said, breathless. "They know what you mean to us." Rex's mind raced. He accessed the ship's systems, his fingers moving with impossible speed. Equations filled his vision, probabilities aligning. "We can't outgun them," he murmured. "But we can outthink them." "Tracer," Drenner said, gripping the railing. "If you have a plan, now would be a good time." Rex didn't answer. He was already working. He rerouted power, recalibrated shields, manipulated gravitational fields. His mind operated at 1,000% capacity, nanites firing like stars in a collapsing galaxy. Then he did the impossible. He engineered a singularity, a collapsing point of gravity that tore through the black horizon. The Star Destroyer imploded, its hull folding inward, its weapons silenced in an instant. The Yulix watched in stunned silence as the Accord's flagship vanished into nothingness. Kaelira stared at him, awe in her voice. "You destroyed a Star Destroyer," with a thought. Rex shook his head. With a puzzle. Drenner let out a low whistle. "Remind me never to play strategy games with you." Vaylor crossed his arms. "Remind me never to fight you." Kaelira smiled. "Remind me to keep you close." Rex's heart skipped. On Yulix Prime, the king honored him before the court. The crystal spire was breathtaking, towering pillars of translucent stone, light refracting through them in shimmering rainbows. The court was filled with nobles, warriors, and scholars, all watching the human who had saved their people. "You have saved our world," the king declared, his voice echoing. "Name your reward." Rex's dreamy eyes lifted to the vaulted ceiling. "A workspace," he said softly. "Well lit." "That is all." The king laughed, impressed. "Then a workspace you shall have." Kaelira leaned close, whispering, "You could have asked for anything." "I did," Rex replied. Her cheeks warmed. But peace was fleeting. Shadows crept into the palace that night. Stealth ops warriors, clad in armor woven with shadow magic, slipped through the crystal spire like ghosts. Their blades dripped with darkness, their movements silent as death. Vaylor fought at the front lines, his sword flashing as he cut down intruders. Drenner held the western corridor, roaring challenges as he clashed with assassins. Kaelira battled in experimental armor, her strikes fierce but her systems faltering. Sparks flew, runes flickered, her wrist cannon sputtered. Rex rushed to her side, tools in hand. "Can't you shoot them faster?" he called, voice strained as he worked. "Can't you fix the armor faster?" She shot back, sweat glistening on her golden skin. A stealth warrior lunged. Kaelira blocked with her forearm, grunting as the impact rattled her bones. Rex twisted a conduit. "Try now." Kaelira fired. A blast of solar energy vaporized 3 assassins at once. "Better," she said. "Good," Rex replied. Another wave of assassins charged. Kaelira fought like a storm, Rex repairing her systems mid-battle, sparks flying around them like fireflies. Together they moved in perfect sync. Engineer and warrior, mind and muscle. By the time the last assassin fell, the corridors were littered with shattered crystal and scorched armor. But the victory was hollow. The king and queen lay dead, assassinated in their private chambers. The palace was in ruins, its crystalline walls shattered. Vaylor, wounded but alive, sat upon the throne with grief etched into his features. Rex, Kaelira, and Captain Drenner pursued the fleeing stealth ship, the Silent Fawn. Its engines glowed in the distance, a shadow slipping into the void. Before they departed, Vaylor spoke to Rex, his voice heavy with truth. "She loves you," he said, his emerald eyes darkened by sorrow. "Treat her tenderly. She has never had a mate. She has never been asked. She deserves more than shadows." Rex's dreamy gaze faltered. "Love is complicated." Vaylor's expression hardened. "Complicated or not, it is real, and you must face it." Then his voice dropped, grim and cold. "The attacks are not random. Serenia is behind them. My sister, the second-born. She commands sleeper cells of stealth ops and shadow magic, assets mothballed in ancient times of peace. She will stop at nothing to take everything we have." Rex's heart tightened. Serenia, the shadowed sibling, had revealed her hand. The war was no longer about puzzles. It was about blood. The radiant spear prepared for pursuit, its engines roaring as it chased the silent Fong into the abyss. Rex stood beside Kaelira and Drenner, his mind filled with equations, his heart filled with unease. Kaelira touched his arm gently. "Whatever comes next, we face it together." And in the shadows of singularity, Rex Tracer would discover that even the greatest engineer could not escape the weight of love, loss, and destiny. Chapter 3, Sister of War. The radiant spear cut through the void like a blade of light, its engines burning bright as it pursued the stealth fleet. The stars ahead shimmered like distant embers, cold and indifferent to the war unfolding between them. Kaelira stood at the prow beside Captain Drenner, her emerald eyes fixed on the shifting shadows ahead. Her armor glowed faintly, runes pulsing with anticipation. She looked every bit the warrior princess, fierce, unyielding, forged in fire. Rex lingered behind them, hands clasped behind his back, his dreamy gaze drifting across the consoles. He wasn't looking at the stars. He was looking at the patterns between them, the trajectories, the probabilities, the invisible threads of logic that only he could see. Drenner's scarred face tightened as he studied the readings. "They're leading us somewhere," he muttered. "I don't like it." Kaelira didn't blink. "We follow. We finish this." Rex tilted his head. "They're not leading us. They're funneling us." Drenner shot him a look. "That's worse." "Yes," Rex agreed softly. "Much." Before Drenner could respond, the void ahead rippled, space bending, light warping. From the darkness emerged a massive warship, its hull black as obsidian, its engines glowing with malevolent fire. The Oblivion's maw. It dwarfed the radiant spear, its silhouette jagged and predatory. Runes of shadow magic crawled across its surface like living scars. "Brace!" Drenner roared. Tractor beams lashed out like claws of light. Kaelira's armor flared as the beam locked onto her, lifting her from the deck. "Kaelira!" Rex shouted, his voice cracking through the chaos. He lunged forward, but the beam was merciless. In an instant, she was ripped from the ship, her form dissolving into the teleportation field. Then she was gone. Kaelira awoke suspended in chains of energy, her body stretched between two towering pillars. The air was thick with smoke and the hum of corrupted machinery. The throne room of the Oblivion's maw was a cathedral of darkness, obsidian walls, flickering torches, and a throne carved from the bones of ancient beasts. Before her stood Serenia, the second-born princess, the forgotten heir, the shadow in their family's history. She wore Nightspire, the corrupted armor of legend. Its plates shimmered with shadow magic, jagged and alive, pulsing with malevolent power. Serenia's emerald eyes burned with fury. "Little sister," she hissed. "Always tinkering, always dreaming. Did you truly think you could stand against me?" Kaelira strained against the restraints, her voice steady despite the pain. "You've betrayed our people." Serenia laughed, a sharp, cruel sound that echoed through the chamber. "Betrayal? No. Liberation. The Yulix are weak, bound by tradition. I will burn their planets, and the Earth colonies that pollute our blood. Watch." She gestured, and the walls came alive with projections. Kaelira's breath caught. A Yulix planet burned, cities collapsing, warriors falling, civilians screaming as fire consumed the sky. Serenia's voice dripped with satisfaction. "This is the future. My future." Kaelira's heart pounded, rage and sorrow twisting inside her. "You're a monster." Serenia leaned close, her whisper venomous. "And you are nothing." The restraints fell away. Kaelira hit the ground hard. But her armor reactivated instantly, Solaris mantle flaring to life. She surged to her feet, blades igniting. Serenia smiled. "Good. I want you angry." The sisters clashed. Solaris mantle met Nightspire in a storm of sparks. Their blades struck with the force of thunder, each blow echoing through the throne room. Kaelira fought with raw fury, her movements fueled by grief and betrayal. Serenia fought with cold precision, every strike calculated, every counter flawless. "You think this proves anything?" Serenia spat between blows. "You are weak. You are forgotten. I am the rightful heir." Kaelira's voice was a roar. Better to be happy as the third-born than remembered for being reckless. Their blades locked. Sparks showered the floor. Serenia sneered. "Without your precious armorer, you are nothing." Kaelira's eyes blazed. "I fight with my own hands." But the drones swarmed, dozens of them, their eyes glowing red, their weapons primed. Kaelira fought fiercely, but the numbers pressed in. Serenia's laughter echoed through the chamber. "You cannot win. You are surrounded." The throne room doors exploded inward. Rex Tracer strode in. Not running, not panicked, just walking. Calm, dreamy, focused. He raised a device, something he had built in the time it took most people to blink. His fingers moved with impossible speed, tapping commands faster than any machine could track. Every drone froze midair. Night Spire's plates locked. The Oblivion's maw shuddered, its engines dying. Serena's eyes widened in horror. What have you done? Rex tilted his head, voice soft, but edged with humor. You know, I really hate interruptions. Serena snarled. You dare interfere, human? Rex shrugged. Interfere? No, I'm just fixing things. It's what I do. Serena strained against the lock, her fury boiling. You are only victorious because you have a superior armorer. Kaelira's voice cut through the tension. Release her. Rex blinked. You're sure? She's looking awfully reptilian today. Kaelira almost faltered at that, but she stayed sharp. Release her. Rex sighed. Fine, but if she bites, don't blame me. He tapped a command. Night Spire unlocked. Kaelira disabled her own armor, stepping forward bare of enhancements. The sisters clashed again, this time without armor. Flesh met flesh. Bone met bone. Their strikes were brutal, primal, fueled by years of resentment and pain. The throne room shook with their battle. Serena spat between blows. You think this changes anything? You are weak. Kaelira's fist struck harder. And you are lost. Rex leaned against a pillar, dreamy as ever. You really don't want to fight her when she's like this. She does this all the time at home. Serena shrieked. Silence, human. Rex shrugged. Sorry. Kaelira found her rhythm. The same rhythm she had in Rex's courtyard when she trained under his watchful eyes. She felt that familiar rush, that bright vitality that came whenever she knew he was watching. Her strikes grew sharper, faster, stronger. Serena faltered. With a final blow, Kaelira drove her sister to the ground. Serena gasped, blood on her lips. You cannot win. Kaelira stood over her, eyes blazing. I already have. Her fists fell again and again, brutal, unrelenting. Serena's cries echoed, then faded. Silence. Serena lay still. Night Spire dimmed. Kaelira trembled, tears filling her eyes. She had lost her parents, her people, and now her sister. Victory tasted like ash. Rex approached slowly, voice gentle. You needed this. To move on. Kaelira turned away, tears streaming. Rex gave her space, his dreamy gaze soft with understanding. He had seen machines break, but never hearts. The throne room was silent except for the hum of disabled drones. The Oblivion's maw drifted powerless, its engines dead. Kaelira knelt beside her sister's body, whispering words only she could hear. Captain Drenner entered, his scarred face grim. It's done. Rex nodded. Yes, it's done. But in his heart, he knew the war was only beginning. Epilogue, connection forged outside of dreams. The throne of Yulix Prime was no longer empty. Valor, scarred by battle and tempered by grief, had ascended as king. The coalition grew stronger under his rule, alliances forming across the stars. But the true story unfolded aboard the Radiant Spear. Kaelira awaited in her quarters, the dim light casting warm shadows across her golden skin. When Rex entered, his dreamy gaze lingered on her, as though she were another puzzle. One he wanted to solve slowly. When you removed my armor the first time, she said softly, you saved my life. I am still in your debt. Rex tilted his head. I didn't think of it as debt. It was necessary. Kaelira stepped closer. For us, it meant more. You touched what no one else could. That bond cannot be ignored. Rex's lips curved faintly. You make it sound extraordinary. I just pulled apart a faulty machine. Her smile was tender. Then do it again. Not to save me. To see me. She lifted her arms. Remove it. Ceremonially. Piece by piece. Rex hesitated. You're serious. I am. He drew a slow breath and began. Piece by piece, he removed her armor, shoulder plates, gauntlets, chest guard, each falling away with a soft echo. Kaelira's eyes fluttered closed as the weight lifted. You know, Rex murmured, none of my machines ever sighed like this. She laughed softly. That is because none of them were alive. When the last piece fell, she stood before him unguarded, vulnerable, radiant. I ask one more thing, she whispered. See me. Choose me. Rex stepped closer, his voice low. I already have. They moved together, not in hunger, but in understanding, in closeness, in truth. Their union was not explicit, but deeply intimate. Two souls finding warmth after years of cold. Later, they lay together in quiet peace, the hum of the ship surrounding them. You see me? Kaelira whispered. Rex brushed a hand along her arm. And you see me. She smiled. Together, we reshaped the galaxy. Rex's dreamy eyes softened. We reshaped each other. And for the first time in his life, Rex Tracer dreamed not of machines, but of her.